This video presentation has been classified by the ABC as M. It contains material that is not recommended for persons under 15 years.
As well as watching this vodcast, you can watch Good Game on ABC2 every Tuesday night at 8:30 and ABC TV late on Friday nights after JTV.
G'day Australia! Welcome to the show For Gamers by Gamers. I'm Junglist.
And I'm Banjo. Hope your ball skills are up to scratch, Jung, because today it's all about footy.
That's right, we're taking a look at the latest FIFA 08.
And I take on the Wallabies at their own game in our very first Ruffle Cup of the season.
Lux investigates online bullying and what, if anything, can be done to stop it.
But first, can you guess the game for this week?
George Collins is the developer that first worked on that project. Extra points if you can tell us what his latest game is.
And here's a clue. It's a new DS title where the stylus is mightier than the sword.
Answer at the end of the show, gamers. But for now, sit back and relax. It's news time.
Dude, it's your turn this week.
Japanese airline passengers will no longer be able to play wireless handheld video games whilst on board a flight. Japan's transport ministry says the electromagnetic waves emitted by consoles such as the Nintendo DS can interfere with the aeroplane's navigation systems. But passengers will now be able to use razors, calculators, and cassette players as the ban against these has been lifted. Bungie Studios, known worldwide as the developers of the Halo franchise, have officially announced that they are leaving Microsoft to become independent. The intellectual property of Halo will still belong to Microsoft, who will also retain the first right of refusal on future projects. Bungie have stated that they will remain committed to supporting Halo 3 after release and creating downloadable content. But while that's happening, they'll be planning new projects. Results are in from the World Cyber Games held in Seattle. Team Malice, representing Australia in Gears of War, came fourth in the world, a massive achievement. American Team Infinity, the favorites, were the winners. Berserk, our Dead or Alive player, came fourth in his group of 6. Glade, representing us in Warcraft 3, came equal third in his group of 8. And Z German, local celebrity for winning the Aussie qualifiers in Command & Conquer without ever having played the game, came third in his group of 4 with 1 win and 2 losses. Our representatives in Counter-Strike 1.6, Sequential Gaming, came third in their group of 6. Sequential most notably beat K23, the Kazakhstani finalists from last year, but were eventually beaten by the overall winners, French team Emulate.
Oh, we just got FIFA, we gotta play it and review it, let's go.
But I already know what's in it, Jung. It has upgraded stats, a new soundtrack, slightly better AI, some gameplay tweaks, and a new game mode.
How could you possibly know that?
Because, Jung, it's an EA sports game.
Well, maybe you're right, but we still gotta play it. Let's do it.
Why did you pass it? I'm hitting pass. You meant to pass.
Here he comes.
No!
Here he comes.
No!
Goal!
It's all going to unfold before our very eyes now.
Thick crust chicken barbecue wings, chicken barbecue thin crust.
The crowd goes wild. On the virtual soccer field, the battle between FIFA and Pro Evo has been raging for a while now. Their strengths and weaknesses are still the same. In fact, now they're even more prevalent.
That's right. Pro Evo has always had the advantage of better AI and more strategical depth. FIFA, on the other hand, is backed by FIFA, so you can play as the players and the teams you know and love, as well as the commentators Martin Tyler and Andy Gray, which are great in this game.
Well, once again, it's Martin Tyler here, and as he says himself, never fear, the kid is here, and that kid is Andy Gray.
Thank you, Martin. It's a pleasure to be with you again.
It's pretty cool to be able to play as the Socceroos.
That's right, and FIFA not only has the Socceroos, but the entire A-League. So if you're feeling suicidal, you can pit Sydney FC versus Barcelona.
The first half has been dominated by one of these two teams, and that's not really what we came here to see.
As for what's new in FIFA besides the obvious, contesting the ball is a lot more common. There's an insane amount of new moves to learn, and you really have to think about what you're doing because it's a lot harder to shoot. You have to think about air pressure and whether your player's left or right-footed.
There's also a feature that allows you to play as one player throughout the entire match. It's not that great versus the computer, but when you think about multiplayer online, where everyone at home is just playing as one player throughout the match, it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Jung, this feature isn't even out yet, and people with no online aren't going to be able to do it at all. You've got to download it later in November, and that's when Pro Evo comes out.
That's right. One of the characteristic things about FIFA is that you can lock in quick passing plays by pressing the button before it gets to your player. If you do it right, it's pretty hard to defend, but it becomes a problem when the ball's contested. The button for tackle is the same button as boot it the hell out of there, so if the ball's contested and the game suddenly decides that you have the ball, you're going to stupidly boot it out of bounds.
The auto-switching needs to be improved too, Jung. Sometimes it'll help you out so much that you want to keep it on, but other times it switches too fast, so your character ends up running in the opposite direction.
These faults are prominent at every skill level, and they creep up during every match.
I find it easy to forgive though, Jung, because every game just feels like an actual soccer match, and when you score a goal, it makes you want to jump out of your chair and...
They managed to score here.
It's also interesting to note that in their usual ad space, they've only stuck EA Sports and Say No to Racism. Is it time for Endgame?
I believe it is, Jung. Games like this are always better played with your mates. The AI can be pretty harsh at times. There's not much difference between easy and hard difficulty settings, so if you're not going to get online or you don't have anyone to play with, you might be feeling a little frustrated. I'm giving it 7 out of 10 Brazilian chickens.
With the massive amount of moves and customization options available in this game, I was really disappointed to see no in-game tutorial or strategy tips. If you want to get better, you're going to have to resort to finding info online. It's good that they looked after their hardcore market, but I would have liked to see them take this opportunity to teach the casual player a little bit more about soccer. 7 out of 10 from me as well.
Good game! Play the week time, gamers. Here's your chance to show your gaming eliteness to the nation.
We're looking for exceptional bits of gameplay action, along with you explaining why what you're doing is awesome gameage.
And you can win this fabulous prize pack.
Gain +10 charisma with your very own Good Game shirt.
Rate your own games with this official Good Game rubber chicken.
Taunt your friends with a noob cup.
Enjoy this battery. It has been used in a Good Game controller. Battery may be flat.
And this cracked CD case containing deleted scenes for a good reason.
And last but not least, your very own piece of yellow fluff.
Now, who wouldn't want that?
Everybody. Now, here's one we've prepared earlier. He's one of the best Age of Empires players in the world, coming second in the World Cyber Games in Asia. Take it away, Kuvade.
Hi, my name is Glenn. My gamer name is Kuvade, and I came second in the World Cyber Games Asian Championships in Singapore for Age of Empires 3. I've got the armor shirt, the giant novelty check, and the medal to prove it. The game that we're looking at today is the grand final between me and Grunt from Korea. He ends up winning, but it's a really tight match. As you can see, we've got a small amount of resources at the moment, but as the game goes on, we'll build up, get to Age 2, and then start fighting. Both me and my opponent Grunt have chosen Iroquois for this match. At the time, they were the strongest civilization and therefore the only real option. Both Iroquois players look to forward blockhouse, which means to build a barracks on the front lines against the other opponent. He's pushed me right into my corner, so he's got map control, and therefore he's got all this space to get all the resources that he needs. We're just about 5 minutes into the game, and here's the Tomahawk Rush that Grunt is known for. It's probably the key defining point of this game where I made a mistake and didn't go up fast enough to defend. We're 10 minutes into the game, and as you can see, he's got Iroquois mantlets and a few more prowlers than I have, and so he's at a large advantage at the moment. The common strategies that you can see in this game and in most games is that we would both Great House, which is a strategy where you have town centres that have more attack and hit points, so it's really defensive sort of turtling. And in tournament play, you see this quite a bit more. It's about 13 minutes into the game, and since Grunt has so much more map control, he's using all those resources to get a much better economy than I am. And so I'm stuck in the corner, and at the moment I'm thinking I have to do something rash, all or nothing. And so what I'm doing is I'm not booming, I'm just building as many military units as I can. The game finished up in about 20 minutes, and as you can see, he won because of his large amount of map control. I just couldn't boom as fast as he could, and as you can see, he has more resources to build more units because he has more economy. And so he runs into my base and takes out my front center. It's a good game.
If you've got a play of the week, visit our website to find out how to send it in.
Coming up next, Lux looks at a problem that's on the rise: online bullying.
You've probably heard of bullying at school or in the workplace environment, but increasingly it's becoming a problem online. It can take the form of a nasty email, a blog that bags someone out, deliberately excluding a player from game, verbal abuse, or just plain mean-spirited behaviour. There are mainly two types of bullying that occur in online games: bullying through instant messaging or through voice chat. Oh, they've got me again. In my game experience, playing Counter-Strike took the cake as far as bullying goes. I found that there was so much attention on me for being a girl, and when I was new, you know what I got called? Yep, I got called a noob. And that's fine and it's expected, but after a while it does wear you down, especially when everyone seems to be watching your gameplay.
Dota has a bit of a reputation for being a little bit nasty online, especially to new players. Do you think there's anything we can do to avoid this kind of bullying?
Me and my friends, we're in this Dota community right now. We have a league called ANZDL. We welcome newcomers to learn and play with us, so we're gonna try to improve as much as we can.
The bullying happens more towards new players. Like when someone buys the wrong item, they just completely go off at them. It is kind of noob of them to do that, but at the same time, they've got to learn, and by putting them down constantly, it really doesn't promote the game of Dota.
It was Friday night and I jumped onto Counter-Strike, and it was in my early days and I was still getting to know the game. And this guy came on drunk and was really abusive and negative, and it was just an awful experience. Luckily though, someone good came online at that point, and he noticed that I was new and decided that he would take me under his wing. We buddied up and he would tell me where to go and which bits of the map I should go to. And by him being supportive and encouraging, it changed the tone of the rest of the players. He was respected, and so then they started respecting me too. Since then, we regularly catch up with each other online, and through this guy, I've been able to meet a whole range of people my own age. I've even got to meet some women players, which has been fantastic. In my opinion, when you have a team who are friendly, supportive, and communicate, it changes the game radically.
Inside the office, we play antisocially on purpose, and we throw things at each other and what have you. Well, we would, spawn camp the enemy by constantly attacking their base. And this was obviously a problem at the start, so now we have automated guns on top of the command center. You can't target the base with fire support. When people spawn, they're invulnerable for the first couple of seconds. And so we've put solutions like that in at every location in the game where we knew an exploit was going to break the game down in a year or two's time, because it would just make it really frustrating for other players.
But we've done some really clever things that make playing much more pleasant. You can mute any player really quickly, for example. So the thing is, if you have a badly behaved player who's cursing and abusing other players through voice chat, once he's muted, he actually becomes a valuable addition to the game because it's another person for you to fight and it's another target for you to hit.
I want to go in there and I want to cause a lot of trouble and ruin other people's experience is really kind of unappealing to us, that type of behavior. We definitely want to create a robust back end on the PC side that gives the server admin and the host a lot of power to be able to remove people who are just in there to team kill or are using cheats to actually to have an advantage or just to grief other players.
So why do people behave badly online? Well, I guess for some people it's an opportunity to unleash. For others, there's a whole mixture of people that come together, and obviously there's going to be some personality clashes along the way. Other people find that by being anonymous, there's no consequences to their behaviour, and so they say and do things that they normally wouldn't do in the real world. This
Businessman by day and serious gamer by night, Tony Truebridge manages Team Immunity, Australia's premier esports outfit.
We want players that can, show a large amount of individual skill and work well in a team environment. But at most, we're really looking for someone that can also act like a true sportsman.
Have you ever rejected really good players who behave badly online?
Certainly. We have a number of players in the past. We've had really good talents or stars, I guess you could say. They're really great players, but at the end of the day, their behaviour and certain actions that they performed both online and on LAN just wasn't up to our standard. So unfortunately, yeah, we weren't able to recruit them.
So how do we avoid bullying online? Firstly, keep your own behaviour in check. Second, be careful about the information that you hand out. And finally, remember the block function. You can use it rather than engage in a raging debate. Remember, everyone who's playing is different and not everyone's meant to get along. So when you find some friends that play nice, click add.
We actually rank pretty highly in the old online sledging thing.
It's true, it's pretty much unheard of in New Zealand. And in Europe, everyone's very much good game all around. So why do you think we are so aggressive with this, John?
No, the US is pretty bad with it as well. I know it's not just FPS, but it's also MMOs are pretty bad, like when someone needs an item they shouldn't.
My worst experience is definitely in WoW, not turning up to a raid on time, threatening to get kicked out of the guild, and puts a lot of pressure, and especially if people are coming online for the first time. Don't you think this is going to turn them off straight away?
Maybe Quarter Circle A has some answers.
I'm kissing you. Fiddlesticks.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My name's Storekeeper. Welcome to Elven Blacksmithery. How can I help you?
I'm a boy. Why do people keep mixing that up? I need a sword and a shield for my quest to save the land.
Well, I'd love to help you, but, I'm afraid we're all out of swords.
You're out of swords?
Yeah. There's none at all.
What about the one up on the wall?
Oh, yeah. That. That's a display unit. I can't possibly sell you that. It's, dusty.
You're kidding, right?
Sorry, man, but unless you pre-order your weaponry, I'm afraid you'll have to put down an order and wait until a new shipment comes in.
Hi. I ordered some stock in. About 3 weeks ago, I ordered a sword and a shield.
Oh, yeah. That. I sold that to another customer.
What?
Yeah, look, it's supply and demand. We're running a business here, man. You just can't expect me to hold on to these things simply because you ordered them specifically several weeks ago.
But that's how the order system works.
Look, man, the best thing I can do is offer you a trade-in. If you want to trade in your clothes, 2 of those hearts, and 30 gold, I can give you this, stick that I found outside.
You little... Fine.
Well, ain't you a pretty little thing?
Good game!
Ruffle Cup time! Our first one for the season.
Could this be the one?
What are you saying, Junglers?
The one we actually win? I mean, it's the Wallabies, right? They're not that good at real-life rugby, so I guess you took them down easy in a video game.
While my friends are out in the sun having fun, I took a more sit-down, console-based approach to sport. Today, we'll see if my misspent youth holds up as Sterling Mortlock, Steve Larkham and Phil Wall accept a Good Game Ruffle Cup challenge. Whoa! Let's get the game on! Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic running rugby. What a brilliant try.
And we're just about ready for kickoff here, and the nominated team member is Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Pretty good.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, very confident.
Confident?
Yeah.
All right, I'm feeling a little bit intimidated myself, so I'm going to go for New Zealand, and you're going to go for Australia, I assume?
Have to, yeah.
All right, well, let's get this going, shall we? And where should we play?
Okay, we'll go Brisbane.
All right. Do the stadiums look much like they actually do in real life?
Yeah, they're actually very good.
And now, as always before All Black matches, the hooker.
Is this helping? Is this making you a bit afraid?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And the match begins. You got the kickoff, my friend. Oh, he's up.
Come on, Giddy, get up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh!
I've lost the strength. Yeah, that's all.
Oh, I lose possession. I've lost possession of the ball here. Going for the hard tackle.
Go,
oh,
go,
go, go, go,
Come on, Giddy, go.
And that's a great start here. First few seconds into the game, and I'm already down a few points. So we're going for the kickoff here. We're setting it up.
Yeah.
Taking in, you take into the wind.
Yeah, we'll.
Pretty strong wind here.
No.
He failed to capitalise on that opportunity.
So when you're playing this, do you find a lot of things going through your head that you would normally have go through your head on the actual field when you're out there?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, same sort of strats?
It's realistic, yeah. Okay, here we go.
Yes,
This is stressful.
And the replay tells no lies. There's a little bit of aggro out there.
If somebody doesn't know anything about rugby, do you think they'll still be able to pick up and play?
Yeah, you can straight away. There's no doubt about that. And there's lots of intricacies behind the game once you actually get into it.
Oh, I kind of misguided that a little bit.
That's all right.
But that's all right. Oh!
Coastal.
Oh, come on! Oh, I dived too soon!
Give it a second. Give it again.
Oh, that defence was woeful. They parted like the Red Sea.
It's the sidestepping that's getting me.
Go! So thinking.
Excellent.
Rocket play goes quick. Go!
Oh! Go, son!
Come on.
Go!
What are you doing?
First try of the game. It's about time, I think. So, guys, have they captured the key mechanics in a great Wallaby game? What are the key mechanics? What should I be doing?
Well, I think lineouts and scrums are the most important thing, and there's good competition in both of those. But then also running the ball. I think that the most enjoyment is making a break, which is what we've done here.
You're going to say it's pretty thrilling. I'm going to get you.
You certainly notice if you give it to a forward, they'll get run down, but someone like Sterlo will get to the line.
This isn't going well.
Oh, no! Oh, that was fantastic running rugby. What a brilliant try.
So this is the Ruffle Cup at stake. Somehow I need to get about 40 points very fast. He's through. And that's it. The score's up. New Zealand 12, Australia 58. I've been slaughtered. Well done, sir. The Ruffle Cup is yours.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the game. Normally I'd get very excited about winning a trophy like this, but today the game was quite easy.
Rubbing in pretty thick there.
I did have a bit of support staff, which you didn't have, and we have been working very hard on this, and we've certainly put this in the trophy cabinet back at ARU headquarters.
Well, in my own defence, I'm not really the sporting type, Jung. Drink up! I want a drink from the Noob Cup. Something's been growing in here over the break. What's that? Now this.
Good game.
In 1995, Sega Rally was the only arcade racing game you could play. It set a standard for rally races, sporting multiple track surfaces that directly impacted driving physics.
But most of all, it showed how much fun it was to drift, and drift again. Now, Jung, some people would say it was pointless owning a Sega Saturn without Sega Rally. Others say it would be pointless anyway. But the fact remains, it's a game that holds true in many arcade junkies' hearts.
12 years later, and Sega Rally power slides its way onto next gen, sporting new tracks, new cars, some pretty slick graphics, and more importantly, lots of corners.
If you're not into rally games, this still might be worth checking out. It's more of a hybrid between, say, Ridge Racer and Colin McRae Dirt.
Even the font is the same as the original. You know, this game just drips arcade and it screams to have a racing wheel attached to it. Even the navigator sounds the same and it just feels like Sega Rally.
Long, medium left. Caution. Hairpin right. Medium right. Maybe.
Although the navigator still sounds like he's talking through an empty toilet roll.
Long, medium left.
That's true.
I gotta say, Jung, everything from the terrain to the camera distance just feels spot on. Dirt feels like dirt, snow feels like snow, and getting the drift right in a game like this is so important. And even though the technical aspect of rally racing is completely ignored here, you don't care because it's just so much fun sliding around this much.
Drool-worthy reflections are everywhere, on the top of cars and in big mud puddles, even when the tires push aside the snow.
In fact, everything just looks very, very pretty. The way that dirt and mud clings to the back of your car and then gets washed off when you go through water is great, but there is a lot of slowdown when there's dust effects.
Yeah, I really noticed the 360 struggling with those effects there. The upside is the track deformation is awesome. The indents that you make on one lap affect your next lap.
And when you push the gravel away, that area is actually faster to go through, but more difficult to navigate.
The controller rumbles a lot when you go over these bumps, and that's pretty neat. And some of those muddy corners can get very, very messy.
The only downside to this track deformation is that the tyre marks appear to pop as you drive along, ruining the illusion. However, it's still the best deformation we've seen to date.
You can go online with the game, but split screen is vertical for some reason.
Yeah, it seems like a strange choice by the makers of this. It's okay if you go in the furthest camera angle, but you can't really see where you need to pull out of the drift. It's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, it is. Final thoughts?
Honestly, the game had quite a few niggly flaws, and it did kind of bug me that as you're driving towards animals and humans at breakneck speed with only a thin fence to separate you and them and certain death, they seem completely calm and nonplussed about it. But besides that, my nostalgia bug really kicked in. I'm giving it 8 out of 10 Rubber Rally chickens.
Sega Rally needs more tracks, and I know it's trying to be a more arcadey game, but they could have done with a bit more car customization as well. After having played Dirt and then playing this, I still prefer Dirt, but I'm going to give this one 7 out of 10 Rubber Chickens.
Good game.
So did you guess the game for this week, gamer? It was MechWarrior 2, released 12 years ago. It was set in the 31st century and was more of a combat sim than anything else.
Had a memorable soundtrack, and it was one of the first games to use TCP/IP, so people could play over the internet in real time. And in answer to our question, George Collins's latest game is Drawn to Light.
Well, time for us to go, Junkie Pooskies. But first, thank you to everyone who entered our forum Tiger Game competition. The winner is Krenich. The ultimate in avatar naming technology is on its way to you, Krenich, for your true depiction of what a Tiger Game might actually look like.
Next week, we'll be opening up the Orange Box and checking out Half-Life 2 Episode 2, as well as the much-talked-about Team Fortress 2.
And we'll be looking at games that are used for more than just entertainment.
And in the next evolution of a genre, we'll be tracking the progress of real-time strategy games.
We're looking forward to seeing your plays of the week, and if you've got anything you'd like to tell us about gaming, life, the universe, thanks for all the fish, jump by our forums and drop us a line. Until next week, gamers, Budjo out.
Junglist out.